Live to Mangaung in Bloemfontein in that court case of Ace Magashule and others. NEC member Dakota Lichwet, I understand, is addressing the media. Let's take a listen.
It's limping because it has admitted that some of the arrests were wrongful. It has admitted a number of issues which are technical and which add to the Secretary General's case that it's a flimsy case. The prosecution does not have a strong case against him. But we don't want to be confident. We don't want to second guess the administrators of law and justice. We want to give them an opportunity to make proper findings and verdicts. But so far, facts speak for themselves. We can be very clear and resolute that the future looks very bright for the Secretary General of the eNCA, Comrade Ace Magashule.
Mr. Lufat, what do you mean with the future looks bright for the Secretary General? Is it in terms of the charges being dropped, or is there a different connotation heading towards December later on this year?
Look, when we say the future looks bright, we speak specifically to the case that is in hand now. The case where it's alleged that he corruptly benefited from an asbestos tender, which is not the case so far, because the most unfortunate part, it was a mistake that was done to bring a case against somebody who's alleged to be a beneficiary of an asbestos tender without finding those who were contractors guilty, bring him as a beneficiary, the same case with perpetrators. I mean, the law speaks for itself and the facts are clear. Secondly, that it has been established that even how he was arrested, it was unlawful. And so far, facts speaks for themselves. It's only that we'll have to await the First Lady to sing. For now, we can't blow our own trumpet, but we are confident that the case against him it's malicious.
Dakota Mbali here from Newsroom Africa. I just want to find out, are you here in your capacity as an ANC spokesperson, or have you been asked by Lutuli House to come here and show support for the suspended Secretary General?
Look, I'm a revolutionary and an activist. When an injustice is visited upon anybody in how we relate with nature and human beings, human relations, I have to rise as an activist. And that's why I'm here to support the Secretary General, because it's an injustice, it's a travesty of justice that somebody in his capacity, in his responsibility, should be maliciously accused of having done something that he has not done. It's wrong because it works, it's a diversion, like I said earlier. He's the Secretary General, Chief Executive Officer of the governing party, who is supposed to ensure that there are jobs, say there's service delivery, our kids get education, we get health, and all other benefits that all citizens deserve, in particular taxpayers and ratepayers. Now this Secretary General is being diverted to come to court with flimsy charges, and I mean, that's quite unfair, and it's quite taxing for the unity of the African National Congress, which is supposed to be stable, which is supposed to ensure that it leads the entirety of society in the country, because we have kids, we have a future for them to defend. We have citizens, we have a responsibility to ensure they sleep every day with food. Because any government that can provide food to its people, it loses its direct legitimacy. And that's the threat we're facing.
Mr. Magashule, just to ask you a question directly, when it comes to your legal team led by Advocate Holtz, what could be some of the key points, not for you to let go of your own case, but just some of the highlights for you that you would want to be put across by your own legal team, as Dakota Lichwet here says, these are flimsy charges brought against you?
Well, in the indictment, in the information we have gathered, I'm nowhere. And that's why we are surprised. What charges am I facing? Corruption. What corruption have I done? Because if they say corruption, it means you have received money, you have done this and all that. So we'll hear from them tomorrow. But we have a very strong case.
Why would you want there to be a permanent stay of prosecution as opposed to just letting the case go ahead and then you can prove your innocence there? Are you not employing the same Stalingrad tactic as former President Jacob Kedai Zuma, which is reported about?
Look, I have legal representatives here, people who understand the law. They always advise me and I take their advice. That's what why we are here and why they are here for us.
But in our country, every case is prosecution-led. So far, the prosecution does not even have a witness, which you need somebody to corroborate your case if you have a strong case against Ace Magashule. But so far, the state does not even have a witness. We are still surprised what is happening. I mean, it's just so unfair.
Can I speak as a member of the ANC? And I'm not confused. I'm a member of the African National Congress. And I'm the spokesperson of MKMDA. We need to have the Secretary General of the African National Congress back in the office of the ANC. You can see the chaos that is reigning in the African National Congress at the moment. The staff salaries are not paid. Go to Lutuli House, it's an empty shell. Go and deal with the issues around membership and the manner in which we need to arrange the various conferences that have to be held. Conferences are being postponed time after time because the management of the ANC is collapsing. For the sake of the African National Congress, Comrade Ace Magashule has to get back into that office like today. And it is under those circumstances that this urgent application for the case to be thrown out doesn't only make legal sense, but it also makes political sense.
You agree with Mr. House that Lutuli House is a shell and that you should go back full-time to your duties as SG of the ANC?
Well, I'm still working. I'm still doing a lot of work. I have time and space. So Carl is a member. He has expressed his own views. It's fine.
What is your view? Is your view that
it's not a
Lutuli House is a shell?
No, Lutuli House is not a shell. Look, a revolution is not pursued by one person.
It's a revolutionary.
It's a collective effort. So whether the SG is there, whether some of us are not there, the movement and the revolution needs to continue. And I think that's what we need to understand. The SG also, that is his understanding. But so far, the point that Comrade Carl was speaking to is just that it's unfortunate. We are regressing, we are being diverted from dealing with real issues that affects our people on a daily basis. Just for example, education, skills, jobs, infrastructure rollout, those are things we're supposed to be focusing on than to attend court cases. We're not saying that nobody must be charged for corruption, but let proper charges be brought in, unlike these flimsy charges, because they undermine the authority, including the state organs and state institutions, because people are being made clowns to bring Trump charges which can stand in a court of law.
Gentlemen, there is one issue. The DSG is currently incapacitated. The SG is not in the office. The ANC constitution is very silent on the issue of the SGO when the both SG and DSG are not there, as opposed to the constitution and the president. When the president is not there, the deputy president takes over. When the DP is not there, the SG takes over. There is the word of Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa, who is touted to be for a top 6 position as the coordinator of the SGO. What is your view of taking someone from the NEC to go and coordinate the office of the SGO?
Look, that particular point is neither here nor there. It's not possible. The SG is suspended. The DSG is there. The DSG is just only not in office because of ill health. So it's not necessarily that she's incapacitated. She's still the DSG of the NC and still responsible for the office of the SGO in the absence of the SG who is suspended. Normally what happens if the SG and the DSG are not in office, the next official takes over. And who's the next official is the Treasurer General, Comrade Paul Mashatile. So all functions related to the SGO as an office are being executed by Comrade Paul Mashatile. But in case Comrade Paul Mashatile has a problem, there are 8 full-time NEC members in line with the conference resolution from Nazareth. So there is no crisis. So far, we've held almost 12 regional conferences in the country. We are moving on to hold other regional conferences, starting with provincial conference at the end of March, between March and June. So there's not necessarily a crisis of administration in the ANC. The ANC is doing well, it's pushing. We have a new membership system. Processes are running. We are preparing also for all the leagues, the Youth League, the Women's League, and the Veterans League conferences. So there's no crisis.
Mr. Magashule, my question is to you. You've come here challenging, the charges in which you're facing. You've tried to fight your charges in the Supreme Court of Appeal. Should you lose in this court?
No, my charges have not been. Those charges. The case is still on. It means if we don't succeed tomorrow, the case goes on the 10th of June. Still a long way to go.
Are you going to challenge it at a higher court?
Challenge what?
These charges here?
No. Well, I'll take legal advice. The lawyers are there to play that role.
No, I wanted to ask...
But I don't want to waste any time. I'm ready for any court action. I won't waste any time.
Just two from you, Tatazwa at the Sunday Times. Dakota, are you saying you're opposed to the move to rope in Gwen to come in as a coordinator in the SG's office?
Look, the issue of Comrade Gwen and the coordinator in the SGO's office, it has not been concluded by the National Executive Committee. So anything that is not concluded by the NEC is not implementable. So it's just discussions and of other comrades in some meetings and quarters. It's not necessarily an official position or either an NEC decision. So far I can't say confirm it because it's not an NEC decision.
To bring Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa, do you believe it's there to make sure that you are not elected for any position with one in the top 6 come the December conference?
How will that be possible? Because people who elect leadership is branches. So I don't mind of anybody, but I think the right things must be done. The ANC must still not be fractional, even after losing local government elections. I think we need to correct. And if people talk renewal, I think people must look at themselves and continue doing the right things. If they want to kill the ANC, let them continue the way they have been continuing.
So you think it's wrong to bring Dr. Gwen Ramokgopa?
The ANC must do what is right. They are full-time comrades at head office. There's no one prefect. They are full-time, they are employed by the African National Congress. And what work are they doing? That's what they have been doing all the time, as full-time employees of the African National Congress, paid for that matter.
Talking about renewal insurance, do you think then with what is being done, including the visit by former President Kabombeki in this province, in this project of renewal, this type that is being done, will it achieve the renewal in the ANC?
You will never achieve any renewal in the ANC if you are selective. If you don't use President Zuma, if you don't use former leaders, Nephew Kosa, and many others who have been part of the National Executive Committee of the ANC, and for years have been leaders of the ANC. If you are selective, those who support those leaders are actually going to show you that you are not going to succeed in what you are trying to do, because it's a factional approach. It's really a factional approach. And to come here and talk bad about Zuma in meetings, we won't allow it. We will never. As members of the ANC, I will never allow it as Secretary General, because we have never talked bad about any leader of the African National Congress. It is wrong. It's completely wrong and unacceptable, and our branches are awake now. And I think it's time for branches to talk and say, no, leaders, you are not going to destroy this movement, which has actually brought peace and freedom in South Africa through the ordinary masses of our people.
Still on that, SG, one of the proposals that came out of that meeting that you speak of was perhaps either an audit of the current membership or an overhaul of the entire membership of the ANC for the party to start afresh in order to renew itself.
When you see that you're losing power, you start finding other things. But I'm not part of the NEC now. I can't talk on their behalf and on behalf of the NWC or officials. So let me not get involved in those matters of the ANC. The only thing, my advice to the African National Congress leaders is that please don't talk bad about other leaders wherever you go and you talk renewal. It will never happen. Don't rise from nowhere and tell us that you are actually renewing the African National Congress, because we won't allow it. We are members of the ANC. we will remain members of the African National Congress. We joined it voluntarily, and we are here voluntarily.
Do you think that roping in former President Mbeki is to erode the legacy and the role former President Jacob Zuma has played in the past decade?
You can't erode the legacy of Zuma. You can't. How will you do that? How will you do that? The man who has been on the ground, who has actually brought unity, who never dealt with those who hated him. Zuma made them ministers and all that. He never dealt with any other comrades. Even those who said bad things about him. That's leadership. And Zuma never said his vote is secret and all that and what have you. And he has always been, and he is that ANC member and leader who will never mislead membership of the African National Congress.
Did those who support you boycott the Thabo Mbeki engagement over the past weekend?
I don't know who supports me. Members of the ANC, I don't know who has invited them. So I can't enter that debate. Maybe ask the province.
ANC members like Lindiwe Zulu, like David Mahlobo were not invited. They saw it on TV.
Oh, ask them. I don't know. They are deployees in this province. If I was there, I was going to talk and check the truth of that. But ask them.
Thank you, Samkelo. We would request that as the media, you engage even other people who are alleged to be corrupt. There's a case of Steinhoff of 200 billion rand of the workers' pensions that was taken through PIC. I would request that you ask how far is that case, because we are told that there's an intention of a repayment of 27 billion rand. What happens to the 173 billion rand? If COSATU and workers' trade unions are going to be quiet on this one, including yourselves as the media, it will be a serious travesty of justice, because that is serious corruption.
Did you decline the position of being coordinator of the SGO?
Go and have...
No, I've not been suggested. So far, I can't.
So you want
confirm.
to see the press conference with Steinhoff, eh?
Yeah, we want to see you.
Want to see it?
Yeah, want to see the Steinhoff.
Initiated by you.
Tell the leadership and government to initiate it. The leadership of the
That's the end there of that impromptu media briefing by ANC members, including the suspended Secretary General Ace Magashule and another suspended member of the MK-MBA, the Carl Niehaus, and a member of the NEC, Dakota Lichwit, expressing their views about this trial and other matters around the ANC's unity and renewal, and challenging us in the media and others to also ask questions of the likes of Steinhoff about their relevant cases involving billions of rand.